stage for the Murphy for Governor campaign. And to welcome you tonight is one of Rutgers' own, Miguel from Are You Progressive?
President of Are You Progressive, which is a chapter of our revolution. And it is the largest progressive organization on this campus. On behalf of my organization and the many progressive organizers who I'm so proud to have worked alongside in this university, from the Rutgers Students for Environmental Awareness, to the Rutgers Democrats, to the Rutgers University Student Assembly. I would like to thank Governor Murphy and Senator Bernie Sanders for coming back to campus. Now today, on the day that Noodle the TikTok dog has blessed us with a Bones Day, we come together to celebrate the accomplishments of our governor and to remind ourselves of the importance of this election. As the days march closer to Election Day, we must take the time to understand just how vital it is that we support the re-election of Governor Phil Murphy. It was Governor Murphy who signed into law the millionaire's tax to ensure that the most wealthy in society pay their fair share in taxes. It has been Governor Murphy who has fought for a more affordable college education in our state, so that everyone can have a chance at achieving their full potential. It was Governor Murphy who successfully pushed to legalize cannabis in our state. And to expunge the sentences of those who had been caught in the crossfire of the war on drugs. It was our governor who led us through our current health crisis, and it will be our governor who will stand as a strong ally of the progressive movement towards building a better future for all of us in the state of New Jersey. As a student organizer, I am so proud to have a governor who has expanded voter accessibility in our elections and implemented in-person early voting. As a proud member of the LGBTQ+ community, the B specifically. I take pride in belonging to a state where our governor has signed legislation adopting an LGBTQ inclusive curriculum in our schools. As a New Jerseyan, I am so proud to support Governor Murphy's re-election campaign, and I sincerely hope that my fellow Scarlet Knights will join me in ensuring that it will be Phil Murphy in the office of our governor for the next 4 years. Thank you, everyone, and remember, not me, us. And now to our next speaker, Justin Goldsman. Solidarity, everyone.
What's up, everybody? We are so excited to be here today to rally in support of Governor Murphy and be joined by the one and only U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders. My name is Justin Goldsman. I am the senior organizer for Coalitions and Outreach on the Murphy campaign. In 2020, I had the honor to run as a delegate for Senator Sanders' presidential run. In the past few years, we have accomplished so much in New Jersey. You just heard a few of them. We have raised the minimum wage. We've passed the millionaire's tax. We have the nation's strongest environmental justice law. And we made the largest pension payment in 25 years, standing with labor. So we have our amazing organizers here here in blue hoodies like this and white sweatshirts who've been doing incredible work all across the state. They are here today to help you get involved at this very critical moment in our campaign. And don't forget, mail your ballot back in, and if you can, participate in our historic first days of 9 early in-person voting in the state of New Jersey. This campaign is powered by people like all of you in this room. This is a battle that will be won in the streets, at the doors, on the phones. I need you to raise one hand for yourself, and I need you to raise one hand for someone you don't know. This election is about fighting for the people you do not know. Don't be complacent. Take action. Let's roll up our sleeves. Let's tie up our laces. Let's get to work these next 5 days. Now, please help me welcome Rebecca Given of the AFT AAUP.
Unions. Our coalition represents dining hall workers, nurses, doctors, maintenance staff, adjunct faculty, full-time faculty, graduate workers, the people who make workers work. We stand for an equitable, sustainable, accessible so that we can safely gather together and make sure that we re-elect Governor Murphy in the coming days. Our union, your faculty, are proud to ally with Senator Sanders on our fight to fund college for all, both sustainable jobs to all who are providing and supporting student education and patient care. We're so thankful for the Senator's leadership as we fight for a better future for higher education, and we are partnering in this fight for the long haul. We are in it for as long as it takes. We're proud to endorse our friend and our ally, Phil Murphy. Your professors are proud to endorse the most progressive governor in the nation. The governor has stood by our side throughout our fight for pay equity here at Rutgers. He understands that we need a stronger, fairer Rutgers for the common good of all New Jerseyans. Attacks on democracy and on voting access are deeply linked with attacks on public education. Under the governor's leadership, we have pushed back against the national trend. In our state, we are increasing access to voting, while other states make it harder to vote. And we've increased funding for higher education, while other states tear it down. If you haven't already voted, vote today, and make sure your friends and family vote early, too. We'll continue standing side by side with Governor Murphy, fighting for the equitable, sustainable, accessible Rutgers that all of you deserve, and for the stronger and fairer introduce a proud Rutgers alum, Ana Lilia Mejia, National Political Director for the Bernie Sanders campaign.
Hoorah, Rutgers! Can I get up 4 more years? 4 more years! Only forward, never back! Only forward, never back! I'm keeping it short because we're trying to get to the reason we're here. My name's Ana Lilia Mejia. I am proud to say I am a Rutgers grad. I'm a Jersey girl. And I had the distinct honor to work for, I think someone that y'all may know, Senator Bernie Sanders. I'm also an organizer who has fought in this state to raise the minimum wage, protect a woman's right to her own body, pass earned sick days, and honestly demand all the nice things working class people deserve. But the powerful think it's too much trouble to make sure we get. Over and over again, working class people, people like perhaps you, your mom and your dad, your grandparents, were constantly told there isn't enough time, there isn't enough money, there isn't enough political will to make sure that our families have all the nice things. Whether it's healthcare, good jobs, or the freedom from crushing debt. It always seems like what regular people need and want is always too big to ask, but big corporations, donors, and Wall Street are too damn big to fail. In New Jersey, we have proven that regular working class people can have nice things. We can send our kids to college, we can take care of our sick if they get, our loved ones if they get sick. These wins were not easy. These wins were battles. But we know that it is just the start of what we can and must do. Okay. Now we need to be clear about who is standing with us and who is standing against us. Republicans who say they're for fiscal responsibility, air quotes, but they're the first in line to make sure that Jeff Bezos gets away with paying zero taxes. Or weak-kneed, no moral compass having, compromising, little tiny D Democrats really think, they really have the audacity to think that somehow, your crushing debt, your inability to buy a home, your inability to build a strong future is somehow due to your poor choices instead of the fact that they oppose every single damn thing. Now, I am standing with you today because I can personally attest, having worked with both these incredible gentlemen, just little Rutgers me. I'm standing here today because I can vouch with every fiber of my highly opinionated, salty-mouthed, Taylor ham eating, because I'm from North Jersey. Burn and say so. That Bill Murphy is the kind of governor that I can stand with. And I couldn't be free, and they decided, I think everyone should get a chance to thrive. And although they seem different, I can attest these two men are very much the same. They are both courageous, they are both fearless, and they are scary smart. And honestly, both are constantly maligned and mistreated by their own peers simply because they give a damn about people like you and me. So they say public service is its own reward, but I think Winstead, today, we should reward these two men with our trust, with our support, with our applause, and come by Tuesday, your vote, and let the world know that we do not want the weak-kneed, we do not want the morally compromised, we demand leaders who will be as fearless in our defense as we deserve. Please welcome Governor Murphy.
Good evening, Rutgers. Yeah, good to be back. Man, there's a lot going on here. So impressive. We broke ground on the Innovation Hub a couple of weeks ago. The football team's going to beat Illinois on Saturday. The women's soccer team won the Big Ten title. You had 2 graduations last week, not 1, yet Snoop Dogg was in town. And we get to host, you and me, the one and only Senator Bernie Sanders. There is no other university like Rutgers. And by the way, there's no other state in America like New Jersey. But think back to the day I put my hand on the Bible. It feels like 5 lifetimes ago. As great as we are, we had underachieved. We had underperformed. We lagged. We let our people down. Think about that state that was here almost 4 years ago. We didn't make our pension plans. We couldn't raise the minimum wage. We refused to do a millionaire's tax. We couldn't legalize weed. We didn't pay our bills. We were anti-climate, anti-democracy. We had loose gun laws. Nobody could trust us. Families were moving out. Businesses were moving out. We were on the lists you don't want to be on. The weakest this, the lowest that. Well, I'm here to tell you, those days are over. We have turned a page to a new era. And even in the midst of the overwhelming tragedy of this pandemic, it is sunrise in New Jersey. Think about it. Tax fairness for hundreds of thousands of middle-class families. Why? Because I signed a millionaire's tax. Minimum wage on the march to $15 for millions of workers in our state. Equal pay for equal work for millions of workers in our state. We, at long last, fund public education. College is more affordable. We expand pre-K unlike any other American state. We have more child care to help, especially our moms, especially our single moms. Healthcare is more affordable. Women's health is funded and protected. We have the strongest environmental policies of any state in the United States of America. strongest gun safety laws of any state in the United States of America. And we're finally, and by the way, we have legalized weed. I wasn't sure if that was going to get a reaction. And now finally we're getting on the list that we want to be on. Number one state in America to raise a family. Number one state in America to live in. And it feels so good to say that at number one Rutgers. Folks, we have come a long way, but our work is not done. We have to keep moving forward. We cannot go backward. The last thing we need right now is an extreme leader. You know what they say in the nuclear power business? The chances of an accident are very small, but if you have one, the hole is very, very deep. And I'm running against somebody, I don't know what the chances are, but if God forbid he wins over us, the hole is very, very deep. This guy spoke at a Stop the Steal rally with Confederate flags and white supremacists. He voted against raising the minimum wage. He voted against legalizing weed. He wants to loosen gun laws. He waffles about whether or not he'll even protect women's health. He puts his finger in the air and sees which way the political winds are blowing before he utters anything about vaccinations or masking. So folks, you get it, right? There's too much at stake, especially for your generation. This is all about you. This is all about you and your future and your families. And everybody in this state, especially as we celebrate our incredible diversity, the most diverse state in the United States of America. So folks, I need you. You have got to vote, either by mail or early in-person voting for the next 3 days, or if not on Tuesday, November 2nd. I need you. Stronger, fairer, forward. Stronger, fairer, forward. Stronger, fairer, forward. Stronger, fairer, forward. I need one more thing from you. Is that okay? I need 4 more years. 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 Okay. It is not often that you get to say that we are welcoming a political icon. But we are. Our special guest has been a mayor, a congressman, a multi-term senator. He's one of the most important chairs in the United States Senate. He's run for president more than once, and most importantly, he has been a voice, a clarion call, a voice for progressive policies in this country for decades, including for decades before so many of his calls became mainstream as they are today. New Jersey is proving that what he stands for and what he believes can work for the United States of America. And he is still in there fighting. He literally was down in Washington fighting, came up to be with us for this period. He knows how important this election is, guys. He's not here for the heck of it. He knows how important this election is for us. And he's gotten right back to Washington after this to continue his work, to connect the dots between all the good that we're doing in New Jersey, that we can promulgate that throughout the entire United States of America. So it gives me an incredible rush of honor to introduce to you a hero, an iconic American. Please help me welcome Brooklyn via the great state of Vermont, Senator Bernie Sanders.
was a wonderful turnout, and it tells me that Governor Murphy is going to get reelected. And I want to thank the governor for his introduction, and I want to thank Anna Lilia for her words. And Anna Lilia, if you want your job back, it's there. There are only 2 states in the country that have governor's elections off year. So it's hard to get people out in a by-election. It is very hard to get people out when you're only one of 2 states to vote in an odd year for governor. So the turnout will not be high. And that means it is absolutely imperative that every person in this room comes out to vote. You bring your uncles, your aunts, your friends. Let me just say a few words why I flew in, why I Amtrak'd in. To be with the governor today. At a time in our country when millions of people are working for starvation wages, when half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck, Governor, congratulations for raising the minimum wage to a living wage. You did it here in New Jersey, and it's time we did it in Washington. Right now in America, we are the only major country on earth not to guarantee paid family and medical leave. We're the only country. And that means that there are women who are low income who give birth and 1 week later they're forced to go back to work. And that means that moms and dads have to make a choice about whether they stay home with a sick kid or they lose their jobs. Governor, congratulations for passing. Country, you got right-wing governors telling the women of this country that they know what is best for women's bodies. Governor, thank you very much for making it clear that it's women who control their bodies. And thank you very much for understanding that people in New Jersey and America deserve equal pay for equal work. We live in a competitive global economy. We need the best educated workforce in the world. It is an outrage that millions of people who want a higher education cannot afford that higher education. It is a disgrace that millions of young people are leaving school, 30, 50,000, graduate school, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. You should not have to mortgage your future to get a decent education. Governor, thank you for making higher education in New Jersey more affordable. And brothers and sisters, with your help, the day will come when we will make all public colleges and universities tuition free. And where we will forgive all student debt. what most of us believe is that in a democracy, we want to make it easier for people to vote, not harder. And yet in state after state, Republican governors are working overtime. They are cowards. Now, the governor and I understand that in a democracy, people disagree. Some people are going to vote for you, some people are going to vote against you. That's called democracy. But this governor and I and you do not believe that just because somebody may vote against you, you suppress their vote and you make it harder for people to vote. Governor Murphy is setting an example of saying that in a democracy, we make it easier for people to vote. In America today, we have more income and wealth inequality than we have had in 100 years. People on top doing phenomenally well, making hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars during the pandemic, while low-income essential workers are dying because they are fulfilling their economic duties. And what the governor is saying is that we have got to address income and wealth inequality, that millionaires are going to have to start paying their fair share. You know, I know, and the governor knows. That it is imperative that in this moment in history, we listen to scientists. And at a great university like Rutgers, I know that you know that. And what the scientists are telling us is that we have a handful of years to boldly transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. Where the planet that we live in will be increasingly unhealthy and uninhabitable. And right now in Washington, we are fighting for some $500 billion to transform our energy system. And I thank the governor for making it clear that climate change is not just an international issue, which it is, not just a national issue, but states and local communities can play an active role. So I am here because your governor is one of the most progressive, if not the most progressive governor in America. And because he stands for working people stand with him. And that is why he has been endorsed by virtually all of the unions in the state, SEIU, CWA, the New Jersey Educational Association, and why he is endorsed by local grassroots organizations like the Jersey Citizens Action and the Working Families Party. So I am here tonight for all of those reasons and more, because he's a progressive governor, because he stands with working families, because he's bringing people together, not dividing people up. But in a sense, I'm here tonight for an even deeper reason. I am here because I worry very much about the future of American democracy and the movement of this country toward an authoritarian society. And the truth of the matter is, there are tens of millions of Americans who are giving up on democracy, who have lost faith in government, their government, who believe that in their pain, in their struggles, nobody is listening to them. And if you are working longer hours for low wages, if your kid can't afford a higher education, if you can't afford the outrageous cost of prescription drugs, if you can't afford health care, if the air you're breathing is polluted, you are saying, who the hell gives a damn about me? Are they only interested in the needs of the rich and the powerful? Unless we turn that around, unless we create a government which says to working class people, we understand you are hurting. And we are going to respond to your needs, and we have the guts to take on the wealthy and the powerful and the specialists. And that is the struggle of our time. And let me tell you, just having come in from Washington, let me tell you what is going on in Washington right now, if I might. We, the President, and many of us in Congress are trying to pass the most consequential piece of legislation in the modern history of this country for working families. What we are saying is that in America, we are going to take on the greed of the pharmaceutical industry. We're going to end the disgrace of Americans paying by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. We are going to make pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds universal and free. We're going to end the absurdity of working class people paying 20 or 25% of their income for child care. No family in America should pay more than 7%. We are going to build millions of units of affordable housing. We're going to make sure that the elderly and the disabled who want to stay in their own homes rather than go to nursing homes be able to do so, and the people who care for them earn a living wage. We're going to expand Medicare to provide dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses. But no senior in New Jersey or Vermont should have rotten teeth in their mouths. And we are going to begin the process of leading the world in transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel, climate efficient. Now, when we do all of that, we do two things. Number one, we improve very significantly the lives of working class people, of lower income people, of the elderly, the children, the sick, and the poor. And that is enormously important. But we do something else that is even more important. And that is to begin to restore the faith of the American people that their government can work for them and not just the welfare. And I should tell you, and I'm sure it's no different in New Jersey, that in Congress right now we do not have not one Republican who is prepared to stand up to the powerful special interests. So the struggle right now throughout this country is not only to save the planet, not only to provide health care to all people as a human right, not only to raise the minimum wage to a living wage, not only to demand that the wealthy and powerful start paying their fair share of taxes. The challenge is even deeper than that, and it's a challenge that must be met at the local level, the state level, and the federal level. And that is to once again make people understand and believe that their government belongs to them and not to the billionaire class. Everything I am saying is relevant to everybody. It is especially relevant to young people. And I know that a lot of your friends are going to say, hey, politics is bullshit. You don't get involved. Don't waste your time. Why are you going to a rally? You could be doing something else. And you tell them that if they are interested in an environment that is clean and it is not destroying life, if they are interested in getting a decent job when they get out of school, if they are interested in being able to go to school without coming out deeply in debt, if they're interested in health care, if they are interested in women's rights or gay rights, you tell them that you're tired of their complaining. They have got to come out and get involved. So tonight, I'm here to ask you not only to vote to re-elect the governor, I'm asking you to bring out 2 or 3 of your friends. Let us win this election. Let us win it in landslide proportions. And let us tell right-wing Republicans that their day is over in New Jersey.